Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the second part of this video. And in the first part, we went through many definitions and we discussed about a different perspective also in the definitions. And many of the definitions are intertwined, but then there are clear-cut boundaries of what they do. And in the organizations, though it's not, the people are not data matured. So then we confuse into sorry, we confuse many of the terminologies in different forums. So then the purpose of this video is that we know about the definitions, and rather than only coding the whole day or thinking about data architecture, we should be talking the same language. Okay, the next set of definitions are this, and I will start with what is data federation. And here we have ChatGPT. We are asking questions to ChatGPT to define or make a standard definition out of it. And ChatGPT is an open AI where it gathers information from millions of resources, and that is how we are getting a kind of a common definition that is fit for all the fit for all, or is the best definition that is can be given or can be known. Well, data federation. Data federation could be a new terminology for many, but data federation is a type of data integration. Data integration is a combination of transformation as well as quality and storage. If I am not wrong, then data integration is we read about data integration, and combining data from multiple sources into unified view. So data integration is multiple sources, and then combine it, transform it, and then it's not about storage, it's about quality and integration from multiple sources. Sorry, I got confused with the storage part, but data integration doesn't say anything about storage. Okay, that is the difference between data integration and data transformation. Coming to data federation, it's a type of data integration approach in which data from multiple sources is combined and made available to users in a single virtual data store. So then data federation is a type of data integration. The advantage is that it allows the users to keep data in the original sources. Data is stored in multiple. Reputation is often used in large computer where data is stored in multiple database systems, where it's important to maintain the data in. So it's like an application which has where the data is stored, but then the data is extracted. Okay, so it's not physically moved. So it's, for example, like you can say reporting from an app. That is called data federation, where the data is stored in the database of the application itself, and from there the reports are getting generated. And then so from the original data source you are creating that is data federation. So then you don't have to take the pain of data acquisition and data storage. It's just doing some minor transformations in the application itself through the help of the developers, and then creating the reports from there. So then data federation is much more about not physically moving the data and combining some elsewhere. So it's from the application itself. But then this is not the best practice, I would say that, because nowadays the data is decentralized and many of the applications are decentralized. So to create much more better insights, you have to combine the data outside of the application. That is what I think, but then the people can have different views on that. Okay, data virtualization. What does it mean? So this is a kind of good terminology for many experienced guys also. Okay, so then data virtualization is like a kind of giving one view by combining multiple resources. It's like a platform, and under the platform there are multiple databases, and that databases is combined. Everything is happening in the platform, and then we are seeing the output in the platform itself. So then it's a kind of a layer, data virtualization. Okay, data disposal. Data disposal is a part of a data lifecycle where this is the last stage of the data. And in the lifecycle, data is created, extracted, and then transformed, and then it is used in the reports. Then after that, when it is not needed, then it is destroyed. So then a stepwise process of destroyed, because you cannot just delete the columns, otherwise it will create much more impact, a ripple effect on the reports itself. So then you have to delete the measures, you have to delete then the staging part, and then delete the source part. Otherwise, all the pipelines will fail, and then you have to debug a lot. So data disposal has a kind of a systematic process, and that should be followed. Data disposal. Data lifecycle is from data acquisition or data extraction till the end of data disposal. That is what I know. And data creation or acquisition, and then to the data disposal. Okay, data dissemination. So these are kind of fancy terminologies, but then yeah, we should use the right terminologies which is used in which is used commonly and in multiple organizations, so that during a conference or during sitting in among big developers, then we can talk the same language then. And data lifecycle includes data creation, acquisition, data storage, data processing, data dissemination. This stage involves distributing the data to the stakeholders, like distributing the data in form of a report or in form of a visualization. So then reporting, yeah, don't say reporting, but then you say data dissemination. I disseminated the data to the business by creating a report that is a fuel report or a maintenance report. Data archiving means storing the historical records for long-term storage, and then at the end is the removal. So then we learned data archiving and data dissemination itself, because it's a part of the data lifecycle, and data disposal is also a part of the data lifecycle. Data migration. Okay, what do we mean by data migration? It's simple. Moving data from one location to another, such as one database to another database. So then cross database querying comes into effect here. Okay, there is a network problem. And okay, ChatGPT is now, because the whole world is using the ChatGPT, and sometimes okay, I will open a new chart, and it's difficult to keep on working forward or keep on continuing with the chat. Well, data migration, it's easy peasy. Many people know it, that it's cross database querying and then moving the data into another data. And then cross database querying means if I have a SQL Server Studio management, so then I will create another database that is here is data, then data 1 or data 2, and then all these files are moved into another database, and for that I have to create some external tables, etc., etc. There are specific techniques of data migration, and then yeah, that is how to avoid. And also the steps are taken to minimize or no loss. There should not be loss during the data transfer itself. Okay, data democratization. It's from the word democracy, and democratization means who has ownership on what data, and that is the whole discussion here. It's the process of making the data available is also called data dissemination, but then available to wider range of organization beyond just a selected few usually involves providing access to data and analytic to access to data. So how you are maintaining the democracy among the means how you are democratizing the data. That is what it is. But then yeah, that is I have used it once or twice in the organization, because sometimes IT people think that they are the owners of the data and they can only but then here yeah, data is for everyone in the company. Okay, now okay, enough of these definitions. I think 99% of the companies will be dealing with this kind of definitions itself, and if somebody knows about these definitions, then already they are much advanced in participating in many discussions. Well, coming to now much more technical, data keys. Well, in a schema, for example, let me go to SQL Server Studio Management, and here if I execute this query, it's a yeah, test table which I created, and in the schemas you see name, phone, and address. Here I have not created any keys, but then keys are like I can declare this as a primary key. Primary key means keys in this schema itself. It is not referring to another table, but in this schema, which table the primary keys means that these keys, the properties of these keys are that it is unique and there is no repetition and there is no null values. So this column is declared as primary key, and that is how it goes. Unique key. The difference between primary key and unique key is that primary keys are also unique because there will be this table will not accept any duplicate primary key. But then unique key can have null values, but then primary key in this column cannot have null values. That is the difference between primary and unique key. But unique key can also have means it's unique. The only thing is that it can have null values. That's it. Foreign keys are like if in this table this is the primary key, then if I have another table which has city names and the city names are based on the phone numbers, then I can connect this table with another table through the help of this column. Then this becomes the foreign key and this of this table. So then this is the primary key and this is the foreign key, not foreign table but foreign key, because this key helps in connecting to the other table. Super keys, okay, I will skip this one. Composite keys are the keys. For example, if I created a key that is a concatenation of this, then it's a composite key. It's a mixture. It's a composite. That's a new key created from the keys that is already there. Surrogate keys and super keys I do not generally use that much, but then we will ask ChatGPT about its definition. And super keys, generally I don't use surrogate keys. Yeah, it is not primary keys and unique keys make my day, and then later I create composite keys for incremental loading. That is how I work. But yeah, maybe complex databases needs surrogate keys, and yeah, super keys. Okay, for creating a hash, suppose if I want to hash all these three columns and create a hash code like ABCDD 1 2 3 5 8 9 7, like 64 digit hash code, then each then it's like set of attributes in a database table that can be used to uniquely identify each record in a table. Like this super key can be uniquely identified if the combination of all these is unique for all the rows, something like that. But then that is mostly used in Data Vault, the super keys, database design and enforce relationships through use of foreign keys. Okay, so we read about all the definitions. I think the journey of the definition is we have the last ones. Okay. Sometimes the IT means already mostly it is used that we in the organizations the famous terminology is DevOps. But apart from DevOps, there is a world in itself also that is called DataOps. So let's ask ChatGPT what is the difference between DevOps and DataOps. Well, I know that DevOps is more about the infrastructure and making the pipelines stable, but then DataOps is like the pipelines which you created is used in multiple projects. A software development approach, okay, and more in control of the IT part. And DataOps is more in control of the the data team, focused on the entire data pipeline for integration, analysis, and reporting. Means use that pipeline for multiple times and this. Okay, so I think people know about DataOps and DevOps. If further knowledge is needed, then you can continue the chat and it will give much more technical answers. Stakeholder management. Well, the stakeholders are the biggest thing. Management is the biggest challenge in the organizations, because there is a saying that in a project there are multiple Bobs, but one Kevin decides what to do. So then, yeah, stakeholder management. Because, for example, if there are multiple developers and one of the developer is more intelligent, then he or she knows what could be done, what data warehouse, or what data architecture is best suited for the organization. But then the stakeholders in the project, then they will do a common voting, and then they try to suppress the intelligent guys. So then there, much more energy is needed to educate the others, etc., etc. But that's a struggle, and that is how. That is one of the quality also, that people should know how to manage the stakeholders. Okay, the journey of the definition comes to an end, and we learned a lot. I think people already know what each terminology means, and you can go through this video again and again, and at least this will create a is a foundation of the upcoming developers, or upcoming or the people who are learning data engineering. And yeah, in what situation what we have to speak, that is very important for at least a healthy discussion. Don't confuse it between different terminologies, like people confuse between database, data warehouse, data mart, etc., etc., etc. Okay, now my favorite. Okay, SQL. Well, I have kind of small experience with SQL, but then it's been 2 years now. I have been working with SQL, and as far as my knowledge goes, I have downloaded this good picture from this guru99.com. So all credit goes to them. And here I wanted to share that all the commands that you write in SQL, the select commands, or the can be grouped into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 6 groups. So the first one is the data definition language, where one creates a table, or drops a table, or truncates a table. Like, for example, you can immediately write truncate table. This I don't want to truncate it because all the data will be then lost, but then I can I can truncate this one, although there is no records here. There's some I can truncate this one. So then we'll see what this truncate does. But before that, maybe I will alter the table. But then I think I don't have to execute each of the commands, because it will be a then lengthy video. So then the data definition language, it means it has the codes like create, drop, alter, and truncate. Then comes the data controlling language, and data controlling commands are more into this part of to manage the credentials, the server roles, etc., etc., etc. And then there, grant, revoke, all these SQL commands comes into picture. But then this is more of a like a IT thing, where they manage the infrastructure. This is more of like the data team who works on day-to-day basis in data engineering and data integration and data acquisition, as well as data disposal also. Then comes the data manipulation language, and data manipulation language is highly used, because insert, update, and delete are the part of the data transformation as well as the data integration. And then there, these are the commands: joins, merge. These are the commands that are grouped under data manipulation language. We have then the TCL one, that is transaction control language, and rollback, commit, and save point. Well, I can show you that if I do some changes, then if I make some changes in the database itself, it's good that in the Oracle database they have this commit buttons here, and I can save. Commit is like a save, and say if suppose you manually change anything here, like manually edit or something here, then it will allow you to save by committing it. Rollback means you can roll back to the previous situation. For example, the changes that you made are not correct, then you can roll back to the previous situation. The save point is at the point you save. So these are transaction control languages, but these are not day-to-day used. I don't use day-to-day. If I have to make changes, then I alter it, and that is how I use the data definition language. or sorry, not alter it, but then yeah, I have to change also manually, or maybe insert, update, or delete. I use a data manipulation language. Okay, data query language. These are my favorites. That is the select commands. All the select commands. Like for example, you wrote select star from data 3, and then this is the table that is if I execute it, this is the data 3, and it will show the contents of this table. So all the select commands are data query languages. Then we have that is data retrieval languages. Select, group by are also counts, are also the part of data query languages. And then yeah, so if you are learning SQL, then you can group your thought process, or you can arrange your thought process in these boxes or in these subcategories. There are 6 subcategories, and this could be a part of the interview also, because if I have to interview someone, I will first ask whether they know DML or DQL or not. And then we have functions in the SQL commands, like some aggregate functions or Windows functions. But those are like advanced commands, and many YouTube videos are there, or many Udemy courses are there to follow for that. But my main objective was that commands can be grouped in 6 sections, and then most of the time people use yeah, these ones. And the confusion is the delete command. Delete command, yeah, it deletes some records, or you can delete a column. But drop is like you will delete the whole table. Truncate is like you delete the records of the table. Alter is like you alter the format of the table. So then one has to know what these things, each of the command does, and at least it is much more easier than Python also. Okay, enough of this, and let's move forward. And okay, I think I will end the video now. We will talk each other in the next video, because for data engineering, one has to know maths for sure. Okay, let's end this video now, and we will meet each other in the next video. Till then, ciao ciao.